Don't call me evil anymore.
Come on, you just said you believe in vampires.
Come on, you just said you believe in vampires. What's up, everybody? It's Total TV number 423. And tonight, we're continuing October Horrorfest. Folks, it's October, and we're watching horror movies. Tonight, we're watching Fright Night, everybody.
Oh, no, it isn't.
It's my favorite vampire film. It really is. And it's because I grew up on it. It was probably the first vampire film that I actually sat down and paid attention to. So this film is about a guy who has a vampire that moves in right next door to him. And he lives with his mom, and he can't convince his mom, and he can't convince his neighbors or his friends from school that a vampire lives next door to him.
The guy did have fangs, and a bat did fly over my head, and a second later, he stepped out of the shadows. Now, don't you see what that means?
Wait, let me guess. Come on.
He's a vampire.
I have a vampire living next door. Will you help me kill him? The neighbor hornswoggles them all. Can you imagine telling your neighbors that a vampire moved in next door to you?
A what? A what?
It's a great little movie, everybody. I love watching this movie. I've watched it over and over again. It's the first film that I saw that introduced elements of comedy. So I used to see bits of this movie on HBO when I was growing up. I would turn it on and it wouldn't be in the beginning of the film, so I would see a scene. And I remember coming across the scene where the lead vampire, who's in full vampire makeup, so he's completely scary looking, but he starts to laugh his ass off. And I was completely confused by this, to see a monster laughing really hard. And I didn't quite understand it until I saw the whole movie. And then I said, okay, I think I know what this is about now. I think this is a horror/comedy. It made sense to my young little noggin. You have to have faith. So I learned a couple things from this film. In order for a crucifix or a cross to work, you have to actually have faith in it. That's why you gotta watch all the vampire films, so you learn all the rules, because every film has different rules. And in this one, you have to have faith for the crucifix to work. You ever wear these old school fucking plastic fangs? When I was a kid, I used to get them, and I'd put them in, and they would fucking fill up with spit, and I would have to drain them. I fucking hated them. Last weekend we mentioned we went to Terracon and met Robert Englund. This weekend we're mentioning that we went to Terracon and we met 5 cast members from Fright Night. I met Chris Sarandon, who also played the detective in Child's Play and did the voice of Jack from A Nightmare Before Christmas. We also had it signed by Amanda Bierce, who played Amy and also played Marcy on Married with Children. Marcy Darcy, eventually. And down here we have William Ragsdale, who played Charlie, the main character. And in this corner we have Jonathan Stark, who played Billy Cole, and Stephen Jeffries, who played Evil Ed. And he hated being called evil, so I hate to call him evil.
Don't call me evil anymore.
That was a great time. I got to tell them about my experiences growing up with this film and not understanding the comedic elements. So enough about the movie, everybody. We got some story time for you. We went to visit a couple of vampiric places. We recently visited the grave of Mercy Brown. This is one of the best documented cases of the exhumation of a corpse to dispel vampirism. In 1892, they exhumed this body and burned the liver and the heart in a ritual to save their young ones. They did this because they thought she may be a vampire. So we went to the grave of Mercy Brown and we paid our respects and we checked it out. And here's a little slideshow. Check it out, everybody. There you go. Now you've been there. Did you visit Mercy Brown? Yes, I did. I watched Total TV 422 and there she was. We also visited the Carey Mansion, which was the mansion used for the exterior for the opening shots of Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows was a fucking 60s soap opera that involved ghosts and vampires. It's all surrounded by fences and hedges, so it's hard to get in and get a good shot. So I got some photos. So that's what's happening in the world of Toilet TV tonight. We got vampires on the mind, everybody. So tell you what, folks, that's it for tonight. October Horror Fest Part 2 in the bag, everybody. We're done. Absolutely check out Fright Night if you're into horror comedy films. It's a classic, everybody. It's one that I grew up on, and that's what we're doing this year for Horrorfest. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for biting my neck and turning me into a human juice box. Alright, everybody, say goodnight. Say goodnight, everybody. Say goodnight. Say I want to suck your blood. Say goodnight. Say I need a dentist appointment. Let me in. Come on. Just me, Charlie Brewster. Let me in. Come on. We'll talk to you next week. Next week we'll have more horror. So say goodnight, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. I'm so glad that I've become a vampire, folks, because I used to look like this.